Bhagavad Lila, 10th Canto, Chapter 32, the reunion. After the gopis cried out their hearts in various charming ways, they began to loudly cry due to their intense utkantita bhav, intense hankering and eagerness to meet Krishna. Suddenly, with a smile on his face, Shyam appeared before the damsels of Braj. He looked so beautiful that he could even bewilder Cupid. Manmata, Manmata. That Cupid who bewilders the minds of all materialistic people. The gopis stood up at once on the banks of the Yamuna, and out of affection, their eyes opened widely. Indeed, it was as if their pran had re-entered their bodies. One gopi took Krishna's hands between her joined palms. Another gopi placed Shyam's arm on her shoulder. One gopi respectfully accepted Krishna's prasadi pan in her hands, and another gopi, burning with desire, placed Krishna's lotus feet on her breasts. One gopi, who is beside herself with loving anger, bit her lip and stared at Krishna with frowning eyebrows, as if to wound Krishna with her harsh arrow-like glances. Another gopi stared with unblinking eyes at Shyam's lotus face, without feeling any satiation, just as great rishis never tire of meditating upon Krishna's lotus feet. Another gopi took Shyam through the opening of her eyes and placed him within the core of her heart, where she continuously embraced Shyam. The 7 gopis mentioned here are the 7 of this 8 principal gopis: Chandravali, Shamala, Shaibya, Padma, Shiradika, Lalita, and Vishaka. Bhadra is the 8th. Of all these, Srimati Radhika is the foremost. Surrounded by the damsels of Braj, who were now relieved of all distress in Krishna's presence, Shyam radiated brilliantly. Krishna walked with the gopis along the shore of the Kalindi, who, with the hands of her waves, had scattered soft sand on the shore. The breeze carried the fragrance of the kumudi flowers and mandara flowers, and the moonlight dispelled the darkness of night. The Braja damsels felt their desires were being completely fulfilled. They arranged for an asan for Krishna by leveling the sand with their hands and covering it with their chunaris, which were smeared with kumkum from their breasts. Shyam sat as the gopis worshipped him. Although Shyam was sitting next to each gopi could only see Shyam and not the other gopis. Krishna had instigated erotic desires within the gopis, and they honored Krishna by glancing at him with playful smiles, gesturing amorously with their eyebrows, and massaging his hands and feet as they held them upon their laps. Even while worshipping Krishna, however, the gopis felt somewhat angry. Thus they spoke to Shyam as follows: "Hey Shyam, some people give affection only to those who give affection to them. Others show affection even to those who are indifferent or inimical, and still others do not show affection toward anyone. Dear Krishna, please explain this to us. Shyam replied, so-called friends who show affection for each other just to benefit themselves are actually selfish businessmen. It is not true friendship, nor are they actually following real dharmic principles. If they did not expect benefit for themselves, they would not reciprocate. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Hey, gopis, some people are genuinely merciful and naturally affectionate, like parents. Persons that devotedly serve even those who fail to reciprocate with them are true dharmi, religious persons. They are true well-wishers. There are some people who are spiritually self-satisfied, Atmaram, materially fulfilled, or by nature ungrateful, or simply envious of superiors. Such persons will not love even those who love them, and what to speak of those who are indifferent or inimical. Oh, gopis, I do not immediately reciprocate with the affection of my worshippers. Why? Because I want to intensify their mood of love. If devotees could easily approach me, they would take me for granted. If I neglect a devotee for some time, he becomes like a poor man who has gained wealth, then lost it. He becomes very anxious and he can think of nothing else. Oh, my Priyajis, I know, just for my sake, you disregarded worldly opinion, the Vedic injunctions, and your relatives. I acted as I did to increase your attachment for me. Even when I disappeared from you suddenly, I never stopped loving you, nor was I actually separated from you. Therefore, please do not harbor any ill feelings towards me, your beloved. I will not be able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even with a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation.